In a modest home in the tiny village of Hurlingen bei in Württemberg, Germany.
Impressive. And don't be modest, Lieutenant. What are the titles?
You're too modest.
Modestly successful.
Be modest. That's what you do.
Yes.
And suffer only modest and acceptable civilian casualties.
Don't be so modest.
He's only just being modest.
Submissive, modest, grateful, and brief.
Proud, but also modest.
They are to be killed,
for a more modest.
He's a drifter, modestly dressed.
Field of honor had he died. In a modest home in the tiny village of Hurlingen bei in Württemberg, Germany, I talked long and often with Rommel's son.
And I've had 2 books published. Impressive. And don't be modest, Lieutenant. What are the titles? The first book was called Art of the Eye Department.
Best in you, Mr. Levin, especially since you saved my life. You're too modest.
Look, if you feel that calls for some dough...
That isn't...
A good company, you think? Modestly successful.
I know nothing about enamelware. Do you?
But don't be modest. That's what you do. This is what you've always done.
Make a name for himself. I mean, this guy loved the idea of being famous.
Don't be modest.
And Stoddard had to say it was his own idea, or he'd look...
Their capabilities. We would therefore prevail and suffer only modest and acceptable civilian casualties from the remaining force, which would be badly damaged and...
Wanted for murder on every front page in America. And don't be so modest.
Oops. I wouldn't be any good, honestly. Rubbish. He's only just being modest. Come on, you ladies. Come and make him play.
At Greenwich, come Sunday. Be submissive, modest, grateful, and brief.
I will do my job.
The head not quite so high. Grand Duchesses are proud, but also modest.
They are to be killed, not to be sold.
There you are, mad as a hatter.
ʻmɑː.
The Attorney General relayed to me your desire for a more modest ceremony.
I've changed my mind.
I'm sorry.
He's a drifter, modestly dressed. He searches the estate.
What on earth are we to do this? I have a modest suggestion.
Drips with fringe. You simply can't be too modest at the beach or by the pool. And in summertime...
Saltwater pool, which is great for your skin. And if it's too modest for you, we can upgrade to a princess deck or a tan.
Half the time, I nearly always had help.
He's just being modest.
No, Hermione, I'm not. Facing...
Having those extra men really paid off.
Oh, you're just being modest.
Are you coming to bed, baby?
Hey, boss, what you all gonna do?
Our modest friend here is a known felon. They take one look at him up in Vegas and we're kaput.
You're good.
I ain't good, I'm the best.
And modest.
Can I see that there now?
I don't know anything about poetry.
Oh, you're so modest.
Really, I just stretched his hand up.
Don't be so modest.
I believe it is you I have to thank for the T-shirt.
Oh, right, so you must be Campbell's.
Well said. In return, we'd take a modest distribution fee.
Which would be...
I didn't kill that many people.
Ah, you're modest, Lucky, and there is no need for we all dig a little violence. What was that you said on the beach?
It's not my area.
Are you being modest, or are you a little uneasy about doing some real police work?
You'll have full charge of training Rosie, with a raise.
Modest raise. You'll hardly notice it.
I don't know anything about elephants.
I'm gonna tell him the truth.
You're a child prodigy playwright.
That is not what I said.
Well, you're too modest to say it, but it's true. So you could just write your own roles, you know, write something that's...
You're a hero.
Fuck you.
Huh? Don't be modest. Quato is dead. The resistance has been completely wiped out, and you were the...
So.
He's been brought up as a good boy to always order modestly. I'm very sorry.
He'll have the bleeding.
My goodness, was your...
Proud of you. I'm proud of myself.
Oh, that's very modest, Spirit. You do realise that smoking cigarettes is a lot more dangerous?
I desire women
To dress modestly, with decency and propriety.
I'm asking for a modest 20% across the board wage cut and 7 more hours a month.
What kind of time frame are you talking about here?
I respect him more.
He would never tell you himself. He's far too modest. We were fighting in Manchuria together.
He rejects the official line on phone taps that there's only been a modest overall increase and says Parliament has no way of knowing how much tapping goes
to a lactose-restricted diet. Now, I know you're modest, but I really must insist on pinning you down here. Doctor, which exercise would you find most
magnificent gesture that this man made today?
Ah, thanks.
No, really, there's a time for speaking out and a time to be modest, and I know that all your fans will be delighted to know.
What about Vaughn? What's he all about?
Oh, pretty much what you'd expect, really. Sensitive, kind, modest. You know, your typical billionaire.
But this, inside this modest sheath, slumbers the finest warhammer ever.
Like you. Big star. Tommy, I'm not a star.
Okay, so modest this guy. Come on, you're on your way.
All right, I'm just trying to think of where to start.
I need agent.
A modest man.
I kept trying to cover a very modest portion and still failed. Are you leaving us?
Yes.
Now's our opportunity.
Dream big. Meanwhile, children, beginning this week, you'll be drawing a modest check each and every Thursday. It's time you two made it legal.
Tell him he's crazy.
This is not the Maria we know, modest and pure, polite and refined, la la, well-bred and mature.
And a lady should be modest.
Yes, a lady should be modest.
I can't take any credit, it's in his genes.
I think you're being very modest. He's pretty amazing.
Every second day, eh? I'm already done at a modest fee. Now, your rascal can sleep out there.
What sex? They're supposed to be so modest. Yeah. Let me tell you, when they get it in their heads, they...
Good thing you guys like to keep things modest. What's this party even for? Say change. Summer solstice.
3 people were murdered, that's all. Harry's a bit too modest to tell us how he did it, though.
Actually at his own party, as if he were another guest, and might also leave early for a more modest but comforting address in the East 30s.